good evening, and welcome to the Vitamin M pre-show. This is the time for you to just we're just setting the stage. All we're doing is setting the stage and getting ready for the episode. We are gearing up, we're breathing. So yes, we want to breathe in and out. And you might want to do that a couple more times. You might want to inhale and then exhale. And when you inhale, you can count. It's just setting the atmosphere. It's like when we get ready, we set out our plate, we set out our napkins, we set the table so that the stage and the table is ready for what is about to go down. So listen, on tonight, we are ready for our vitamin M. And if you're following the show, and I hope that you are, listen, the last couple weeks have been phenomenal. I hope you have been getting into it. But on tonight, we're going to talk about access granted. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is access has been granted. Access granted. Access granted. Access granted. The access that you need has been granted. Access granted. Access granted. Access has been granted. Access granted. Listen, but I'm going to get to, I'm going to get all up. We're going to get all up in it. And before I get all into it, what do you also need to be ready? I'm going to have to breathe with you through this one. You need your vitamin M journal. You also need a writing tool, and you need an open heart, mind, and soul so that you are ready to receive. If you not, I am. Let's go get our vitamins. This is your vitamin M. This is your motivation for the week. Get your vitamins. Good evening. Hey, good evening. I see you getting your vitamins. Hey, I see you getting your vitamins. Hey, I see you getting your vitamins. Hey, get your vitamins. Get your vitamins. Get your vitamins. Yes! I see you getting your vitamins. Hey, I see you getting your vitamins. Hey, I see you getting your vitamins. Hey, get your vitamins. Get your vitamins. Get your vitamins. Hey. Welcome to the Vitamin M Show, where the M stands for motivation, with Marchelle Sterling. I am your host. I am your hype girl. Listen, I am your guide for the next 30 minutes of this powerful journey. The Vitamin M Show, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. This will rock your world. It'll reset your mindset. We're going to challenge you on tonight. Listen, and I want you tonight to buckle in. I want you to put on and lock in your seatbelt. Cha-ching. Lock in your seatbelt on tonight, because it is going to be fire. I am so excited that you decided to join me on tonight, and I'm going to try to act prestigious on tonight and hold it all together. I don't want to hold you long on tonight, but I am excited. I'm thankful for this episode. Listen, I am thankful that we get to do this journey together, because as I say, together is better. Together is better. Listen, you are well into your journey, and I am proud of where we all are. I'm proud of where we have come from and where we are going. So let's go. But before we go, wait. We cannot forget our weekly objectives. Almost week 2, and I'm about to forget again our objectives for the week. And it is to do what? To break down walls, to produce positive thinking, and to exhibit resilience amid any situation. I am living it, walking it, and talking it. If I could tell you my story and my encounters from each week, I'm having to break down the walls in my life I'm living on that positivity. I'm producing the positive thinking amid any situation. And I'm also exhibiting resilience. I'm standing up. I'm standing up. I'm standing up for myself because listen, that being able to exhibit resilience amid any situation is powerful. When you have the ability to exhibit resilience amid any situation, you are able to take yourself to new heights and new levels. Listen, again, I'm trying to keep it because tonight is going to be impactful. But because this is so simple and such a powerful concept, I don't believe that it takes. I don't believe that it takes a lot. I mean, we have spent the last couple of weeks, and again, they're all connecting together. If you go back 2 weeks ago, listen, you should have caught the episode on rest with Yamika, right? When we were talking about you need to access and to prioritize the rest in your life. You need to make it a priority. It needs to come number one. You need to lean into it. You need to lean into that rest. You need to lean into the rest. We need to make rest the number one because we need to rejuvenate our bodies and our mindset. When we begin to rest, for you to be able to tap into the rest, what do you have to do? If you watched on last week, we have to reset our mindset and prioritize. And what do I always say? Mind your mindset. Mind your mindset. Mind your mindset. And when you are minding your mindset and you're practicing and you're thinking about and you are prioritizing the rest in your life, then you learn the power of no. The power of no. One word, two letters, the power of no. No, I'm not going there with you. No, I'm not going to let you disrupt the peace in my life because I value my peace. The power of no is so powerful. Listen, no, 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 no. No, listen, opens up so many doors and it closes other doors. It allows me to prioritize my rest because I begin to say no to the other foolishness. And when I think about my rest, when I think about the power of saying no, then we must learn that when we do this, access granted, access granted, access granted, access has been granted. You have been granted access to that next level. Access granted. I want you to think about it because, listen, when I think on it, when I think on that thing, when I think about where I want to go, when I think about the things that I want to do, when I think about where do I want this journey to go, what all do I want to get out of this life, access granted. Access has been granted. Access is granted. You have access to that next level. Why? Because you have rested for it. You have rested. You're rested. You have reset. You have rejuvenated. You are ready. You like, listen, I'm fired up. I'm ready to get in the ring. I'm ready to get in the ring. Throw me in a game, coach. I've been practicing. Put me in, coach. Put me in. You are ready because you have rested for that thing. You're rested. You're well. You have learned to be able to say no to people depleting you, no to things depleting, no to you depleting yourself. You're no longer going on guilt trips with yourself. You have rejected that. And when you begin to reject the negativity, when you begin to say no, access granted. You have been granted access. You have been granted access. You have been granted access. We will walk into 2025 fully equipped in our journey because we are ready, willing, and able for the journey ahead. You no longer need to wait for access. Access has been granted. Access has been granted. Now listen, I'm trying to do all the little things. I'm aligning my rest game. I'm saying no to the things that I no longer want to be attached to the people, to the negative mindsets, and I am no longer allowing you to drain me. I'm saying no. I'm empowering myself because I know where I want to go, because I know all of these things line up. I am fully aware that when I do these things, access is granted. Access granted. Access granted. Access granted. Access granted. Yes, I mean you. I mean access has been granted to the things in your life. There are no more denial letters. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. We're not looking for eviction notices. We're evicting some things in our lives. We're evicting some things. And let me tell you, let's stop and pause and park right there for a little bit. Let's put our car and park right there. We are serving some eviction notices to the mess, to the negativity, to those things that I don't, that's not going the way that I need, or that I, not just that I need, but yes, that I need, or the way that I want to go. I may be serving eviction notices to friendships. I may be serving eviction notices to jobs, to people that I no longer want to work with. I'm not going to no longer allow a job to deplete me. I will serve it an eviction notice so that I can open up this other portal, this other world. See, when we begin to serve eviction notices and we take our no, see, my no leads to an open door, because remember, your no is freeing. Remember, your no is empowering. Your no gives you, your no empowers you. It makes you more assertive. It makes you align. It causes you to align more with the person that you are, more to your true self. And when you begin to align to your true self, access is granted. See, access means it's a means of an opportunity or entering a place. I'm going to say that again. Access means a means of opportunity or entering a place. Granted means permission has been given. What? Access granted. Access granted. Access granted. But for me to access granted, I have to evict and deny some things in my life. I have to go back and remember the power of my no. Those things that I'm no longer going to allow in my life, so that I can open up a whole new world. There is this other world, this next level. But if I ever plan to get there, if I ever have a plan, a dream, a hope, or anything to get to that level, I have to say no, because my no opens up everything else. See, when you no longer have time or energy to deal with foolishness, access granted. When you walk away from a life of, even if it's, you know what, I was untruthful about some things, access granted to a world of truthfulness. When I look at a situation or a relationship and I walk away from that relationship because that relationship was toxic, it was bad, they talked about me, they did not believe in me, they were not a part of my dream, they couldn't see me for my worth. And when I said no and I left it behind, access granted. because I have been granted, because now I know what I need and what I desire. And so access has been granted to a new life, to new expectations, to new dreams. See, access granted to new friendships. Because see, the new friendships or the new beau in my life appreciates who I am, appreciates where I'm trying to go. They can see the hard work. Access granted. See, when you walk away, even from a job or a position on a job, you may say, not now, but access is granted because your boss can see, you know what, they know who they are, and they are able to understand what they are capable of at the time. Maybe at this time in my life, I have young children, or I'm not at a certain place to be able to serve there. Access is granted because they value you being able to understand your limits and understand your worth, and knowing that it may be a no for now, but not always. Access has been granted to that next level, to that next thing, whatever it is. You open up another level of trustworthiness and humility. See, when I deny certain things, access is granted. Sometimes when I'm access is granted, not sometimes, but access is granted when I'm humble in a situation. When I'm humble is the way access is granted, because people see your humility and they want to join you on your journey. Listen, we're going to talk more about access granted after these messages.
Marchelle Sterling is available for your next event. Known for her energetic speaking style and down-to-earth teaching, Marchelle has made a positive impact on her audience at every engagement. Whether it is a keynote address, conference, workshop, breakout session, or staff meeting, Marchelle brings the same fire and excitement to every session. To bring the Sterling experience to your next event, scan the QR code on the screen or go to www.marchellesterling.com.
Access granted. Access has been granted. You have access. You have access. You have access. Access granted means permission to see or go into the place or obtain or use something that has been given. Access granted. If I give you the keys to my car, access granted. If I give you the keys to the building, access granted. Listen, when you walk up to the door and the little automatic doors open up because they sense you there, access has been granted. You have permission to see or go into the place that you are trying to obtain. Access has been granted. Access granted means you are now allowed to reach whatever it is that you are hopeful to reach. Access granted. Access granted. I'm going to say that again. Access granted means you are now allowed to reach whatever it is that you were hopeful for or wanted to access. Access has been granted. When you got approved for the car, they said access granted. When your credit was approved, access granted. When you got approved for the job and you landed the job, access is granted. Sometimes there are places where where access is not granted. It is a restricted access. It's restricted access. Listen, at my job, you have to have a badge to get into the front doors of the school. And every badge does not work. Just because I have a badge doesn't mean that I can go to somebody else's campus and get into their building. That is, access is denied. I was granted access to my specific building. You are granted access to certain things, not all of the things. So you have to obtain the access that is designated for you. I have access to my campus, not the campus down the street. And the higher the levels, listen, the higher the higher your title, the higher the responsibility, the more access that you have. See, my boss has our access. She can get on any campus within the district. Access is granted because of who she is. You have access because of who you are. You have to know who you are and whom's you are. I am a child of the King. Access granted. He's granting me access to the things that I have applied for. See, I applied for it. I want it. I desire it. Access has been granted. You've been granted access to where you wanted to go. Access granted. Access granted to you applied for the grant. Access granted. You applied for the visa to be able to go to another country. Access granted. See, I can show up and show my passport, and it grants me access. When we went out of the country and we came back, I had to show my passport, and then they provided me access. When you go through the airport and you get to the kiosk, and the police and the little police guy or whatever officer is there, and you're getting ready to go to the other side, and you're going to go through TSA, and they're going to scan your bag and all your stuff. You got to show your driver's license, and you have to show you have a boarding pass. And if you don't have those things, access is denied. So you have to have that. They're granting you access to the other side of the building because you have shown your credentials. There is nothing holding you back but yourself. You have shown your credentials. You have shown that you are worthy. You have shown that you will put in the work, that you will put in the time, that you are committed to the process. Access has been granted. Access is granted. You may see, sometimes you cannot see it from your vantage point, from your viewpoint, from your perspective, but access is granted. See, when I became the principal at my campus, I was downtown, and they were making my badge and getting my keys together and all of that. See, I couldn't see the building, but I knew I had access. See, you may not be able to see the place where you are going, but you have access. You can't see it yet, but you have been granted access. I'm telling you, it's about your mindset. You have to know. I knew I was the principal. I had signed on the dotted line. I had agreed to the terms and the conditions. Access granted. You have agreed to the terms and the conditions. Access has been granted. You maybe just can't see it yet, but access is granted. Everything is already set up. Everything is already ready. It may need a little couple of tweaks and changes, but access has been granted. You have to finagle it and make it work and tweak some things to your liking, but access has been granted. Just because you have to make a tweak or an adjustment does not mean that access has not been granted. Access is granted. Access is granted. You may have to you may have to go study. You may have to go back to college and get another degree, but access has been granted. Your card has been upgraded. Your card has been upgraded. Your card has been upgraded. You have gained access. Access has been granted. You are now in the access granted club. Because see, in the access granted club, we know our worth. We know how to get our rest. We know how to say no to the negativity in our lives. And we know that access has been granted. See, let me tell you this. See, you may not see it right now, but access has been granted. And you know how sometimes they tell you when you make a return to, my favorite is Amazon. I buy lots on Amazon, so I'm gonna say it like that. And they'll tell you, sometimes it takes 7 to 10 business days for you to see the credit on your account. Or when you make a payment, and they tell you when you make a payment, they'll say, okay, this will be reflected in 7 to 10 business days. You're not going to see it right now, but access has been granted. What they're saying is that I'm going to credit your account. You just got to give it time. We know that it's coming. It's going through the process. It's going through the process. It's on the way. You just have to wait for it to reflect. Same difference. Access is granted. It just may take 7 or 10 business days for you to see the reflection on your account, for you to see the reflection in your life. When you begin to reach those new levels, access has been granted. That's going to take 7 to 10 business days for it to reflect in your spirit. Access has been granted. The things are available to you. We're just waiting for it to show up. Access has been granted. I'm telling you, you're already there. You're already equipped. You are getting equipped. You may have to, again, make some adjustments, but access has been granted. You can't look at your now and then make a determination that, oh, I can't get there. Oh, yes, you can, because access has been granted. See, all I need to know is that access is granted. See, I'm utilizing my access card on all the doors until I get to the door that is mine, until I get to the door that my card accesses, because access has been granted. And sometimes they do a little hiccup with your access. And you're like, I thought I had access. What happened? Don't worry. Just keep plowing and keep working, because access has been granted. See, you can't give up in the midst of it, or otherwise you will forfeit your access. See, when access is granted, the possibilities are endless. See, the impossible becomes possible, because I fully understand that I'm not like others. See, I'm not like others because my access is granted. The impossible has turned possible because access is granted. Don't be fooled. Access is granted, because things will come to get you off track. And that's the purpose. The purpose is to try to throw you off and make you believe that your access is not there. Give it 7 to 10 business days and it will be reflective on your account. Access has been granted. When access is granted, you need to stay positive, apply pressure, rest, practice the power of the no, and you learn and you begin to see that it is reflective, that access is granted. What do you need access to? See, I'm studying because I got a game plan. I have somewhere that I want to go. So I'm following those that are on the same journey with me. I'm reading books. I'm doing my research. See, I'm gaining my access so that access is granted. It is going to be reflected very soon. You just need to remember that access has been granted. Access granted if you stay positive, apply pressure, rest, practice the power of your no, and then you will open up the endless possibilities. Access granted. We will see you on next week.
Join us next week to get your weekly dose of vitamin M. Please visit our website at www.marchellesterling.com.